Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. My name is Berliana Astrid and I'm from class PBI 5D and my student ID number is 1232014 And today I'm going to present my reflection video for the sociolinguistic midterm assessment. So, for this mid-test, I analyzes two sociolinguistic classroom situations that happened in Indonesia. And the first case study is focuses on code switching and translinguating in an English class. And the second case study is discuss language and identity, especially during English Day program in a multilingual school. So, both cases show how English learning in Indonesia is not only about grammar or vocabulary, but also about culture, identity, and communication. In our multilingual society, teachers and students naturally move between language. For the example, English Indonesian and local language like Sundanese or Javanese to build meaning and confidence. By analyzing these cases, I learned that sociolinguistics help us understand how language works in real life, how it connects people and shape identity and influence how students feel and learn in the classroom. So let's move to the case 1 is code switching and translating in a English class. So in this class, I observed a teacher in Bandung who start her lesson in English saying good morning everyone, but when she noticed that student look confused and she switches to Indonesia and say, kalau kalian masih bingung, ini sama seperti pola kalimat yang sudah kita pelajari minggu lalu. Immediately, the student nod, they understand better. During group work, student mix several language naturally. For the example, oh, jadi maksudnya mah make verb 2 gitu. Here they combine English, Indonesian, and Sundanese in one sentence. This is how translating in action. And let's look at the main sociolinguistic concept. The first one is code switching is when speakers alternate between language for a specific purpose. That according to Word How and Fuller 2021, it can clarify meaning for express emotion. And in this class, the teacher switches from English to Indonesian to make sure everyone is understand. And then the second is translating based on Garcia and Way 2014 goes beyond simple switching. It's the blending of language to make meaning. Students use all their linguistic research, their English, Indonesian, and even Sundanese to learn effectively. And the third one is multilingualism forms the background of the situation in Indonesia. This is flexible use of language in natural and help connect what they know with what they are learning. For my analysis, I found that code switching acts as a learn scaffold, and when the teacher uses Indonesian strategically, she reduces student anxiety and increases comprehension. Cook 21 to 2001 also mentioned that using student first language can actually support not harm or second language learning. And meanwhile, the student translating behaviors show that they are not being lazy or they are being creative and strategic learner. As Kanagarajah 2011 explain that translinguating is a sign of linguistic adaptability, showing communicative competence. And however, there's also a challenge if teachers rely too much on Indonesian. The student English exposure become limited, so the teacher should maintain a balance using the local language to explain complex idea, but always bringing student back to English practice. And from this case, I learned several teaching implication that teachers should adopt a flexible bilingual policy, not a strict English only rule, and they use the first language to scaffold learning. For the example, explain in Indonesia, then let students summarize in English, and validate student identities by respecting their home language and gradually increase English use while keeping comprehension strong. In this case, really show how multilingual classroom can be both inclusive and effective when teachers embrace code switching and translinguating wisely. And next to the case 2 with language and identity English Day is in a high school in West Java from various ethnic groups, Sundanese, Javanese, Batak, and the others take part in English Day where they are encouraged to speak only in English. Some students feel excited, but others feel awkward, or even teased for sounding too English. And one student say, I feel weird speaking for English, tapi ya penting sih buat practice. In this sentence also show identity tension. They know English is useful, but they are also want to stay connected to their culture roots. Here, we can identify three main sociolinguistic concepts. The first is language and identity. According to Norton 2030, language shapes how people see themselves. Speaking English can make some students feel modern or educated, but others may feel like less authentic, I guess. And then second is language attitudes. As Garrett 2010 explained that student opinions about English influence their motivation. Some see it as empowering, others as elitists. And the third is language ideology. Lidicode and Scarino 2030 mentioned that societies often see English as a symbol of intelligence and success, while local language are considered informal. This creates inequality between language. So, in this case, I just realized that English learning is not just about cognitive, it's emotional and social. When students are teased or sounding too English, it's not just a joke, it's a reflection of social pressure and fear of judgment. Kremsch 1998 calls this the symbolic power of language. English gives access to global opportunities, but it can also make learners feel distant from their own culture. So, what can teachers do? In here, we can affirm multilingual identities and normalize diverse Englishes. And use culturally responsive teaching and build an empathic classroom. So by doing this, teachers can help students see that English is not a threat to identity, but it's a tool for expression, and connection. So, from analyzing both case, I learned that language teaching never just about grammar or pronunciation. It's also about emotion, identity, and inclusion. As a future English teacher, I realized that I need to be sociolinguistically aware to see how language used in the classroom reflects deeper social meanings. And I learned that using student first language can support learning and make students feel comfortable. And translating is not a mistake. It's a creative way of learning, and identity play a huge role when the student feel accepted and they speak and learn better. In the future, I want to create an English classroom that is multilingual, inclusive, and empowering. And I want my students to feel proud of their local language while also confident in using English. Because when we respect all language, we also respect all identities. And thank you very much for watching my reflection videos. Once again, my name is Berliana Astrid. I'm from PBI 5D. And this was my sociolinguistic mid-test reflection. Have a great day and see you later.